What does Jump Force mean to you?
Ooh. Ooh. Oh man, that one. That question.
Yeah, man.
That is a very difficult question. Um Jump Force means there's no way to put it into like a sentence. Jump Force for me was it almost started everything, but at the same time, it almost like it was kind of like I like it started everything. I'm appreciative of it, but at the same time, it was like a very difficult time for me. And I say that because when I first started Jump Force and I kind of like gained my kind of like I started getting kind of into the mainstream, and people started noticing like what I was capable of doing. It was cool, but at the same time, it was like it felt limited, you know. So like for example, when I was making Jump Force videos, and like as I was making Jump Force videos prior to the game's release, right? Like I was covering the game. This was my first kind of community of people that I brought around, right? So like when I was making skits, I consider like I didn't really consider myself on my skit channel, um, which is my second channel now. I didn't really consider the fact that I had a community on there. Never really had a community. I just had a bunch of people that I had family and friends that watched what I did, and I had um, floaters on the internet that would just watch it and go like, okay, that's cool, and then it would just go. But I never had a centralized community of people that like waited for when I made the next Your True Captain skit. It was always just like people if they came across it, they would watch it and they would go, and family members and friends would watch it and they would just go. It wasn't until Jump Force came along that I actually built a kind of like a community of people that would wait for me to stream, wait for me to make videos, wait for me to, you know what I mean? Captain, when is the next video? And it, like that was like that blew my mind. I was like, whoa, I actually have people that like want to watch what I do. So I would stream Jump Force before the game came out. I would stream it every night. I would stream like I call them Jump Force hype streams, and I would play this game called J Stars, which is like kind of like the previous version to Jump Force.
Yeah.
I guess if you want to call it that. It was an earlier Jump collection game on the PS4 and PS3, and I would play that game and I would kind of discuss Jump Force, or I would kind of just be on the internet, on Twitter, on wherever, and just be talking to my viewers about Jump Force. And I did that, and I built a following. Then Jump Force came out, and I kind of like made videos that I was planning on making when the game came out, and like I executed. And you know, obviously, some of the videos that I made, like they kind of went into the mainstream, and I don't want to say mainstream, but they got attention far beyond like what I ever thought it would ever get. And in terms of like, that's kind of like I would say Jump Force, when Jump Force came out, that is what kind of solidified me within the anime community, right? So you know, that's when Jump Force came out and I was making my Jump Force videos, that's when Bandai Namco retweeted them. You know, some of my favorite creators, Afro Senju, Papa Berto, right? A lot of these guys, they know, none of them knew who I was until like Jump Force came out, you know? And then once it came out, like all of these people, like all these guys sort of knew who I was. So Jump Force is a blessing because it solidified me in the anime community, right? So like you can go around the anime community and say you're a true captain, and people like I don't know if they will, but like I would assume that people would go like, oh yeah, that name sounds familiar. Versus before then, like nobody knew who I was, right? So it's a blessing because it solidified me within this community, like the anime community, anime gaming community. But at the same time, it was like a curse because like and here's the thing, like I'm forever blessed for Jump Force and the people that like liked what I made for Jump Force, but it was a curse because like the community for that game was like, or not just the community for that game, but just like the anime like sort of gaming community in general it left a bad taste in my mouth. It almost felt like a quicksand, right? So like when Jump Force first came out, everybody was hyped for Jump Force. Jump Force was the biggest, best game. Like everybody needs to like get this game. Like it's gonna be the best anime game we've ever had, right? People were hyping it up, and I 100% believed in that idea. Like Jump Force is gonna be the best anime game ever, better than Budokai Tenkaichi 3, which I would say people say is the best anime game, right?
I'm one of those.
Yeah, so a lot of people would say like that's the best anime game ever. People are saying, yo, this is gonna be 10 times better than that. I was one of those people that was like, yeah, this looks like it's gonna be the best, right? And then it like you start covering the game comes out and everything like that, and it was not the best, and the game died very quickly within a matter of like a month. Like half the player base died on the game. The thing with the anime gaming community is like you're all, it's almost like you're stuck. For like a lot of people that make anime gaming content, it's like they're stuck. They have to kind of make anime game. Like, okay, you can be very interested in Jump Force, right? But then next month, Bandai Namco decides to make a Fairy Tail game, but you don't care about that Fairy Tail game. But because you're in the anime gaming space, people are going to expect you to make not only videos, but like talk about it and make content about it, right? And that aspect of like the anime gaming community, I didn't like. It almost felt like you were trapped. Whatever Bandai or Atlas or whoever was making the next big anime game, even if you liked it or not, you were obligated to buy it, play it, no ifs, ands, questions, or buts. If you didn't, you're like, usually the way anime games work is they come out, they're big for like the first week, 2 weeks, and then they die. Like a month later, they kind of just die, right? That's typically the only game that I would say kind of stood the test of time really is Fighters. Fighters is really the only game. Fighters is really the only game I would say out right now that stood the test of time and kept its player base, and people still like Fighters. But truth be told, like Jump Force, people didn't even know they released a Tokyo Ghoul game like a year and a half ago, because that game is already gone. The Fairy Tail game that they released less than a year ago. Nobody plays it. My Hero One's Justice 2, very small fan base for that game now compared to when it first came out. A lot of these games do not stand the test of time at all. And that's to do with the way Bandai and all these companies kind of make the games. They make them like as like a kind of like a cash grab. You know, let's make a game. Let's make some hot DLC for like a year, and then let's make a next game, right? The only games that haven't done that, like I said, is probably Fighters and maybe Shinobi Striker, if you want to consider Shinobi Striker. I would consider Shinobi Striker a game that stood the test of time when I thought it was going to die. Absolutely. But the fact that the way that they make the games is in a way that it's very hard to keep your channel afloat. So when Jump Force died and there was really no other anime game, I was kind of like in this predicament where I was stuck. There were no games, anime games that were coming out. And if there were anime games that were coming out, there were games that I didn't care about, like that Tokyo Ghoul game, for example. I could care. It did not interest me. But I kind of fell in this predicament where it's like, okay, I might have to like cover this game because I'm kind of stuck, right? So there is that dynamic. There's also the dynamic of just the community of people, right? And I feel like this is like a big thing within other communities too, but particularly within the anime gaming community, is very prominent. So we had a discussion earlier about like kind of like hypocrisy among anime fans, and this in the anime gaming community is something that's like very, very big. So for example, you can make a video about something about Jump Force. Let's just say Jump Force, for example. Let's just use me as an example. I made a video when I was in my Jump Force arc. I made a video called "Please Nerf Madara," and
I remember that video. That's one of the first videos of yours that I saw, actually.
Yeah, so I made a video I remember called "Please Nerf Madara." Okay, and pretty much The premise of this video was, I kind of clickbaited a little bit because at the time Madara was a DLC for Jump Force. He wasn't out yet, but I made it seem like, oh, please nerf him. So like, oh, is he out now? Like maybe I can see some gameplay. Click. That was kind of like what I was going for, or not necessarily what I was going for, but I like people had that mindset. So I made this video called Please Nerf Madara. The premise of the video was to explain the fact that in every game Madara is present in, he is absolutely broken, absolutely busted to the point where it's like you got to ban him from tournaments. You got to ban him from just like casual play because he's just so busted. And when I heard he was getting into Jump Force, I'm like, okay, this man needs to be stopped. Okay, this man. So I was like, please nerf Madara, because I was like, okay, before he actually gets in this game, please make sure he's nerfed. It was more of a video intended towards the developers. So that was the whole premise of the game. Please nerf him before he's actually released, because nobody wants a broken ass character in this already broken ass game, right? Like Aizen was already broken enough. I did not want another Aizen in that game. So that was my premise, and I did it in a captain, your true captain sort of way, where I kind of the only way I can tell, like, exclaim myself is in ways that like make sense to me. So I explained that using like, you know, like little skits at the beginning and using you know, obviously like a kind of like a ranting tone. Like this is kind of like how I do things. So I did it in a way like a Your True Captain way. I wake up the next morning after I kind of like released the video, and I see the video is kind of like getting a lot of attention. I'm like, ooh, okay. But then I go to the comments section, and I see a bunch of people going like, yo, bro, you stupid ass motherfucker. You clickbaited me. Yo, I hate this guy, bro. Like, this is the problem with YouTubers. Like, this is a problem with anime YouTubers. This, that, and the other. You clickbaited me. He's not even out yet. Why are you making his videos not even this, that, and the other? Keep in mind, my premise for the video was, please nerf him if you watch the video, right? Like nerf this man before he comes out, right? Now, I can see how you can interpret that as like he's out, right? But that was not my intention. Well, half and half. But I'm gonna be honest. But you got people that are complaining, going like, yo, like, fuck this guy. Like, there's literally people just being assholes. Keep in mind, this is when I'm smaller. It's about like when I had like about 5,000 to 7,000 subscribers. I was fairly small channel, right? And people are just being like assholes, like, yo, this is shit. This is like all this stuff, right? And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like I really do hate this community, because I feel like, because in the back of my mind, right, I'm thinking, what if people are coming at me for making this video? But what if Rhyme Style made this video, or somebody like Heavenly Control? Not to go at those guys, like those guys are really cool people, right? But what if somebody who was like more prominent in the community made this exact same video? Would people be telling him to kill himself? And would people be telling him like, yo, you're a trash content creator and you clickbait and stuff like that? More often than not, people will be going like, yo, this was a great video. Rhyme Style, Heavenly, Afro, whatever, whoever makes the video. A lot of the times, if they made that same video that I made and just uploaded it to their channel, people would be going like, yo, this video is funny. This video is amazing. Yeah, I get what you mean, Rhyme or Heavenly or whoever the content creator is that's more prominent in the community. But because you have like a lower kind of sub count, because you have a lower prominence in the community, people use that as an advantage to go like, to dog on you, to go like, yo, this is trash, this is this is that, this is why you're never going to be a bigger content creator, this is why people use that. And within the anime gaming community, that is a big thing. That's a big problem, a huge problem, where people make certain videos, but then other bigger people make those same videos. And the same people that watch both videos have a problem with the smaller creator, but don't have a problem with the bigger creator. I've noticed this in my time on YouTube and in my time in the anime gaming community, in my time in the anime community, where people like used to dog on me, like when I was smaller, used to dog on me, telling me, yo, this, that, and the other. And then all of a sudden, these same people come back and go like, you're my favorite YouTuber. And I'm like, wasn't it like 5 months ago where you told me this is trash, this is trash, this is trash? Now all of a sudden I'm your favorite YouTuber, right? It's kind of like, that's a big problem within the anime gaming community. And it really annoys me because I have a lot of friends within the community, and you know, obviously there's not a lot of big anime games out right now. So, or not a lot of big anime games that were announced right now, like right currently. So a lot of them, they've kind of either moved on to other things, or they're kind of in their sort of vacation arc, if you will, right? And they're kind of like a little filler arc. But I can imagine like if Bandai decides to make a Jump Force 2, or if Bandai decides, or whoever decides to make the next big anime game, it seems like the Demon Slayer game is going to be the next big anime game. All of a sudden now, those same people that abandoned those like content creators that made the anime gaming content for Jump Force maybe like 2 years ago, all of a sudden now they're going to come back and go like, yo, this is why you're my favorite YouTuber. You were always my favorite YouTuber, even though you abandoned them for like 2 years. You know, and this is a big problem within the anime gaming community, in large part due to the fact that you got a lot of young, the communities a big part of the community, like a big demographic in the community is young teenage prepubescent boys that don't know how to act any better. But for the most part, it's like it really rubs you the wrong way. So the way I look at Jump Force in particular is, it's a blessing. I'm blessed for the game and what it's done for me. But at the same time, like the community that I was thrusted into was not a community that I would ever kind of want to build a channel off of. So as soon as like I realized that Jump Force was, or not Jump Force, just the anime gaming community was structured the way it was structured, where people would only, like people would only care about you if you either did a video with a bigger creator, or people only cared about you if you were getting numbers, or if you had bigger numbers. When I realized that, I decided, yeah, I don't want to be part of this community. And I just kind of started doing my own thing that revolves around me, as opposed to revolving around Jump Force. And it was hard, obviously, because my main demographic was people that was Jump Force. That was my main demographic at first. And so when I said, yeah, guys, I'm not making Jump Force videos no more, I'm going to be making videos that make me happy. When I said that, people were kind of turned off. They were like, okay, yeah, I came here for Jump Force, not for whatever your shenanigans that you do. So for first couple of months after I kind of did a transition from that, it was very hard for me. It was not an easy transition, but eventually as time goes and as you kind of develop your craft and as you stay confident and stay true to what you love doing, things fall into place. And so I'm thankful that things fell into place. People really enjoyed me for the videos that I make, that I was making. And I kind of built a community past just Jump Force, you know. Now when you think of YourTrueCaptain, obviously Jump Force comes to mind, but a bunch of other things come to mind, like, you know, like reaction videos, like comedy videos, like, you know, a bunch of other stuff comes to mind versus just Jump Force comes to mind, which it was before. You know, that's how it was structured before. So yeah, it's kind of like the internet, man. It's a blessing and it's a curse. It really is a double-edged sword. I love Jump Force for everything it's done, but it's really the community is behind it. That's not something that I want to be a part of, and I don't recommend a lot of people be a part of unless you're of prominence, really, because that's the only way people are going to ever kind of give you an opportunity, and that's the only time people are ever going to give you spotlight, or not even just spotlight, just give you the recognition, you know?